Apologies everybody, I had a slight technical glitch that cancelled the stream for a second there. We are now back up and running. Hopefully you can all get back in nice and quick. Apologies for that everybody. Just need to quickly update everything. It does this sometimes. It seems to just crash on me when we actually go into the game. There we are, everything should now be updated. Hopefully we can get you all back in nice and quick. Yeah, we got 7 of you back in. Apologies for that slight disruption, everybody. For some reason, as we loaded into the game, I had an error pop up and my stream was stopped from my PlayStation. So I've now amended that issue and we are back up and running and should hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, have no further issues through the remainder of this stream. The first 2 bans coming out so far, the first one being Jackal, the second one being Thatcher. Thatcher being a relatively standard ban at the moment in the current meta. Mirror, of course, also being banned out. Getting rid of that Jackal, though, does mean that the defenders do have a bit of an advantage starting out on that roam, as they will not be easily tracked down by using the footsteps. The Inox scanner, I believe it's called, on the Jackal. The final ban coming out on the side of, I believe it's Atlas? No, it would be the side of Vortex Gaming, apologies. Banned out the Clash, got rid of that annoying operator. Nobody really likes playing against the Clash, but now she's off the board. They don't have to worry. There's still plenty of other operators that the defensive side can pick, and of course both sides can pick when they go onto the defensive, so we'll just have to see which ones they go for instead. Laundry Room, Supply Room being the starting point for these 2 teams. One ban that has managed to slip through, though, which is quite interesting to see, is that of the Cade. You see Slushy currently playing that one. With Thatcher banned off the board, you would normally expect to see the Cade getting banned as like a counter backwards and forwards, because now those Cades are going to be even more difficult to get. Like if you bring a Maverick on your offense, you can quite easily get off the Mutes or the Bandits, as they're the only wall denials left, but of course with leaving Cades on the board, these are going to be harder to destroy, especially if they're put in some sneaky spots, which there are some sneaky spots on this map where you can put them where they electrify stuff like the meeting hatch, which I believe is one of the reasons why the Cade was bought on this one. Like I say, the ground floor being the starting point for these, for Vortex Gaming on this one. Looks like Slushy is still slightly asleep. And here you go, you see the Cade can be put on this side of the door frame. It can only be shot by somebody going in sight. There is not a twitch to be able to get in there and shoot it. So of course you have to take a lot of map control before you're actually able to open up that hatch. The side of Atlas do have a Maverick in place, so the Maverick can be used to open up that hatch instead. However, it's going to be slightly more difficult to do so due to how long it will take. And of course, you've got focusing so much attention on opening the hatch that somebody could very easily get on your flank and move around and shoot you. Side of Atlas, most of them seem to have been spawning over on the blue bunker side, deciding that this is where they're going to start pushing from. I do see the likes of Maz currently on a spawn peak on tier 2 of the big tower. Now rotating back through Attic, wasn't able to pick anybody up on that little cheeky roam of his, but now drones are coming into big tower as this seems to be the place that Alice is going to be pushing. Tipsy Rain is currently just breaking the tier 3 window and is about to drone in and repel and see if anybody's there. He will notice the rotate very early on within Attic, so does know that there is a roamer about, but of course doesn't know exactly where they are. And there you see it right there. Maz has now moved all the way into Dorm's main hall and is currently just sat waiting for calls from the rest of his team, waiting for a sound cue to know exactly when he's going to need to push into a certain location, but it looks like he's focusing mostly around the big tower. Currently about to be droned out though by the likes of the Hibana. He has been seen, doesn't quite get the drone, he eventually does, but nobody's there to quite answer to that, so Maz will walk away unscathed. See the Ace and the Maverick trying to, of course, apply a bit of pressure onto this E-box wall. However, not enough pressure was applied and nobody has been taken out, and not really much progress has been made getting further into sight. You see Oshink playing the Goyo playing super close with that Vector in hand, Oshink being rather deadly with the Vector at other points. Jamie droning out above for the likes of probably Tipsy Rain. But now shots are coming out, doing a tiniest little bit of damage onto it, but it's Rowdy. Has rotated up the armory stairs and managed to pick off Maz on their own. He has wasted a lot of time, but is it going to be quite enough time for his team? As Fizzle now takes a chunk of damage through this hatch. I believe it was actually The likes of Ace, who pushed up, managing to just see an ass cheek or two of Fizzle just sticking out from behind that Goyo shield being played on Pillar. Does manage to, of course, do a bit of damage. He's now being pressured from two sides. He sees the Nomad pushing on the stairs, or certainly expects that she's going to be there. He is, of course, being droned at as well, so Man is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and he finally gives it up, falling away from that Pillar position, as the Ace now starts opening up E-Box wall. The Ashovitz Rowdy has now dropped hatch and is now holding on to the second Goyo shield that is playing in laundry. An Ash charge is sent out to destroy that shield. Explosion goes off. Slushy manages to fall off though, but Jamie secures the life of Fizzle. Not being left on much health does mean he was an easy takedown. Jamie is now just watching this long haul, waiting for people to rotate. They're now opening a single E-Box wall, not single E-Box wall, and Bino manages to get Oshink, who is playing on the head angle behind the bomb. Game On does take a lot of damage there in that slight engagement. SMG-11 in hand, doesn't quite land it. But Rowdy gets a double kill, and now Game On is left in a 1v5, and he can't quite do it. It's Rowdy getting kill number 3 and securing a flawless round for Atlas. Exactly the start that Atlas wanted out of all of this. Getting a flawless against the likes of Vortex Gaming. Wasn't necessarily the worst hold coming out from Vortex, it just seemed that although they kept doing little bits of damage here and there onto the likes of Atlas, they were just not able to actually take them out of this game once and for all. Due to the defeat though, Vortex Gaming have very quickly decided we're going to hold somewhere slightly different and have opted to go upstairs into the kids' dorms main hall. Or Silver Bunk dorms, as I like to call it. You guys know what I'm on about when I say that. Bring in roughly the same operators as they did last time. Once again, oh sorry, Slushy playing that Cade. Has been bought instead of the Bandit, since the Cade can be placed in some locations that, like I say, are very difficult to shoot out, very difficult to get, compared with the Bandit that is always going to have to be at the base of the wall and can either be shot from below, certainly when it's holding the closet wall here, but also can, of course, the bottom of the wall can be Maverick and shoot out that Bandit. Does look like some head holes are being made in this trophy attic wall. Not quite sure exactly what they're going to be for, especially when you put a Goyo shield right there. I think if the angle's just right, you could probably actually get a shot all the way either from the master bedroom or the top armory stairs onto that Goyo shield, of course completely nullifying its usefulness in attic. Could be a bit, maybe a little bit of a misplay on the side of Vortex Gaming, but as we also see here in Trophy, the Smoke has set up a shield with two ADSs either side, slightly set back from the door frame, meaning that, of course, as soon as the nade, the Ash charge, whatever is used to try and burn that shield, gets passed through that doorway, through that threshold, it will get destroyed by the ADS. If the shield was on the doorway, then, of course, the ADSs would not actually have an effect until the shield had gone or something was thrown over the shield. Likes of Atlas seem to be pushing below the closet, but also we see 3 members deciding to push on into Big Tower. No contest currently happening in the Big Tower. So you see Bino currently just droning for himself. The Maverick of Cake is now in and is starting to open up this attic wall, first deciding exactly what he wants to do. The call has come out that maybe there's a Cade on it, so he opens up a little hole trying to see it. A nade being cooked. Will this get Oshink? It bounces, it does a load of damage to Oshink but doesn't quite kill him. A man's going to have to try and run away now. He should probably drop hatch as the second nade comes in and secures Oshink. He should have dropped the hatch, but the fire from his own shield prevented him from... Well, he could have dropped the hatch. He just decided not to. Instead, he opted to stay around, hopefully holding it, but instead gets taken out by a nade. Fizzle is currently on the roam, quite a very far off-site roam, being all the way down in the bottom of Freezer. Trying to get a flank onto the enemies. But currently Atlas are playing around the Big Tower, so he's very far away from where the main push is coming from, and 3 members of Atlas find themselves stacked up. Ashovitz Rowdy is now currently opening up the top armory window for a Nomad to be fired through. ADSs are taken out behind this shield. Game On does take a little bit of damage there. I believe that was from some Hibana pellets as he's playing close on the wall. Does he have a shotgun out? No, he's got the SMG-11. He misses the Hibana! Uses all of his bullets. He swings it again with a shotgun. Manages to land the shot. Beautiful headshot there from Game On. Manages to take Tipsy Ryan right off this one. But a flank up the white stairs. Gets a double kill onto the Malusi and onto Game On. Now it's a 2v4 situation. Fizzle is still on this roam, watching the vault through from below. There is a lot has been opened up. He's taken a bit of damage through the floor from that Maverick. Sorry, not the Maverick, the Goyo shield, but the default plant was not put in the right place. It's Rowdy just gets down by a friendly, trying to do a quick reset in sight, but Bino Happy pushes top of white stairs and manages to clean up Fizzle. Another round going in favour of Atlas, currently winning this game at 2 rounds to none, after only 2 rounds have passed. Vortex still have enough time to, of course, turn this one around, but we'll just have to wait and see whether they will be able to do this one as time progresses. By the way, everybody, has my... No, it hasn't. Goodness me. I tried updating all the info on this stream, but it's messed itself up again. So bear with me 1 second while I just get that updated. VSL, there we go. So the stream should now actually be showing with the correct name. Thank goodness. With all of the crashes and everything, though, on the slight issues that I was having, did mean that, of course, we resulted in a full restart of the stream. So apologies for that, everybody. Hopefully it's all sorted out now. And make sure to get your predictions done within the next 5 minutes. You've seen the first 2 rounds. You will see the first 3 before the predictions close. But make sure you put in who you think will win this one. It's certainly so far looking more in favour of Atlas than it is in Vortex Gaming. But there is still a lot of Siege to be played before we eventually get to the end of this one. Rank check. I did the rank check just before we went into the game checker. It's basically a plat 3 plat 1s, 1 plat 3 and a diamond on the side of Atlas. And for the side of Vortex, I believe it's I want to say 2 or 3 plat 2s, 1 plat 1 and a plat 3, something like that. Hopefully that satisfies you somewhat. There you go, you've heard the answers and you've quickly voted. Slushy, though, flicking across these cams, trying to see if he can get an early intel on everybody. Pings are coming out, and Maz is going for a bit of a spawn peek, but of course the pings are very old and the players have already moved off. He could have maybe got the unaware Nomad, who is now pushing towards... No, apologies, it wasn't Nomad, it was the likes of the Havana on Tipsy Ryan. In fact, it wasn't, I'm lying again. Once again, though, the likes of Tipsy Ryan is droning out from above, droning her own tier 3 before she repels into the top of Big Tower. Bino Happy does take a bit of damage, and its Rowdy has also taken a butt-ton as well. Excuse me, hiccup. Fair enough. Once again, a little bit of an off-site hold coming out here. This time Maz is currently stuck in the garage, just trying to play as passively as possible, hoping somebody walks across in front of him. However, this team does seem to be droning him quite well. They may have seen something as a bullet tracer does whiz through the doorway. If, of course, he is spotted out, there isn't really anywhere that he can run, unfortunately, from this position. So will he get taken out is yet to be seen. Meeting has been taken by the likes of Atlas. They are using the Maverick to try and open up this E-box hatch. And we do see the Nomad going above, trying to stop any rotates coming through the attic, as attic holes were made once again. Does seem, though, like Maz has not actually been droned at this point. He is still in quite a strong position, and I'm not sure the Nomad has necessarily been able to put anything on the double meeting door. There is a drone, oh, never mind, she has put one on the double meeting door, so it does delay Maz's push through, and I'm unsure whether he'll be able to shoot it without losing himself. Tipsy Rain takes out Fizzle, though, pushing down the rear stage stairs. Bino Happy also takes out Shink, a couple of little cheeky one-taps there, finally managing to finish him off. Tipsy Ryan possibly trying to bait out the peak there from Slushy, but Slushy does throw a C4 over the top of his shield, does stop the aces on the wall, and also takes the life of its Rowdy off of the scoreboard. Jamie is taken out by Maz, whether that was a flank or not, I'm not quite sure. Yes, indeed, he is now above. He's playing on this hatch that they so conveniently opened for him. One player, though, of Tipsy Ryan is now coming around looking for the head of Maz, trying to clear him out from this aggressive and strong position. Shots do come out but don't quite land, and Maz does actually manage to take out Cake in the process, but gets instantly traded back as Tipsy Ryan claims himself a double kill. It's now a 2v2 with 20 seconds left on the clock, and the rear stage push is exactly where these two teammates are going to be pushing from. Game On is playing super aggro right underneath this breach at the moment. They don't realise he's in. The first kill comes out, the second kill goes away at Tipsy Ryan. It's now 1v1, Slushy just has to play time. And Slushy with Tipsy Ryan wins it! Oh no, I almost got it the wrong way round! Slushy, no! He so nearly had it there, but gave away his position, couldn't quite secure the kill, missed some of his shots, meaning that Tipsy Ryan was able to flick around the 180 and secure himself the head of Slushy, winning his team around number 3 in the process. That was a very close round, though, between Vortex and Atlas for the third round. It's certainly good to see that Vortex are starting to bring the fight somewhat back in favour of themselves. Atlas are not just walking away with the win on this one. So we will have to see whether they can continue with this momentum. And, of course, continue with this momentum and hopefully actually start turning some of these rounds where they start getting the advantage, turn it into a win. They have now lost on the top floor and the basement. Basement twice, top floor once. So instead we now see Vortex Gaming going into the dining and kitchen site. Freeing the castle and the maestro does mean that they would go for a pretty standard setup, using those castle barricades to, of course, close off some of the entry points and mean that this side of Atlas do have to use a bit of utility to get into the site, or spend quite a bit of time also just wasted, just slapping that barricade until it eventually does fall from the door frame. Cal, come join our team. We're very talented. I'm currently getting a team together, so no can do. Otherwise I would. You don't need them. Yeah, true, you don't need them, Callum. You need to join us. Anyway, hopefully Vortex Gaming do start being able to turn the tide of this one, as 3 rounds have passed and 3 rounds have gone in favour of Atlas, despite the fact that Vortex Gaming looked very much in control of the last round. They unfortunately were not able to hold on to it right at the very end. Side of Atlas seems to have all spawned over on the small tower side. Exactly how they're going to push this. Are they going to go take small tower and go from above, or are they also going to take the kids' dorms and bunk and go from there? Remains to be seen. But there are some footholds that have been made, so Showers is not completely fully reinforced. And we do see the likes of Slushy playing the Maestro in here with that Alder in hand. A very powerful and aggressive weapon with lots and lots of rounds in it that can be used to absolutely punish any attackers that decide to walk in front of it. Seems like a nade's being thrown in there, currently trying to get the castle barricade off. The ADS has now been wasted, so an ace charge was used to open up that barricade. Oh, sorry. And now the grenade being thrown in, lands perfectly, manages to down Slushy completely behind here. I don't quite know how, that was just perfect timing on the side of Atlas being able to, of course, get the down on Slushy. It does mean that Maz now has to push in, try and pick up his teammate. He does manage it, but they're now going to be left on 20 hit points. A breach charge from above does also down Fizzle in sight. Of course, points not being on, the member who popped that breach charge on the floor doesn't know they got the down. It does look like it's going to be the Ash. So the pickup will happen and Fizzle will walk away with 20 hit points still left to his name. The same as his teammate Slushy. But of course this doesn't put them in the best of positions. And another breach charge is being prepped. Will it do any damage? This time he's not quite underneath it enough to actually take any damage. But he's playing in a very risky position with, of course, the Ash of It's Rowdy playing above on these top floor angles. Currently just looking for the toes of the castle, trying to find exactly where he is and just take him off the board. If only he knew how low this man was, he'd maybe be slightly more aggressive. See all the remaining members of Vortex Gaming still just in sight, playing around a little bit. The Maverick, though, is super close here, but Bino gets taken down. Absolutely destroyed by pre-fire, I believe, from Maz through the soft wall, but answering that back Answering back is Cake, who does take Maz cleanly off the board. One of the healthiest members of the Vortex Gaming team is now no longer able to play in this one, as Tipsy Rain also takes out Game On from above. Slushy and Fizzle left on very low health, and Oshink, also having lost half of his hit points, does manage to collect the head of Jamie, though, playing on this shower corridor. But now the ace is in sight. He misses all his shots. Bino Happy is now going for the plant. It's Rowdy gets Fizzle from above, and it's now just down to Oshink and Slushy. It's Rowdy does get a double kill, and now it's just Slushy, 20 health and a dream. He does kill one, and they don't manage to get the plant down. The diffuser was not being picked up in time. The kill was chased, and a round does go in favour of Vortex. However, not necessarily a round that they deserved to win. It was very, very close, and you could argue that, of course, Atlas had that one in the bag. But a couple of misplays there. I'm not quite sure how Atlas just let the player of, I believe it was Oshink, just live for as long as he did, playing in that dining room with the plant going down in the corner. Of course, he was able to deny that plant, and of course that's what eventually won them the round, as the plant was not in the hand of the attackers, so they were not able to force it. So despite being downed early on from a frag grenade, Slushy was able to come up big for his team, even though he was on very little health, securing himself a 1v3, if not 1v4 victory as the Maestro. Somehow managing to clutch that one out. Shink wasn't very friendly to me to score, so this is fucking hilarious.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I'm gonna play with people. How many you got? I should have 6, but I'm moving back. Cool. Well, the sooner you get it confirmed, Callum, just get it sent over with the roster as soon as possible, and I will get that one sorted for you. The site that we now see Vortex Gaming going back to is this of the basement side, deciding that they're going to try their look at it once again. Seeing their performance so far, I would argue that maybe going for the top floor hold would have been the better choice for them right now, as they've only tried it once and lost it the one time they tried it. Meanwhile, basement, they've already tried it twice and lost it the 2 times that they did. Opting to not actually play anybody in elbow, despite having the smoke and his shield available. Instead, they have fully reinforced the elbow wall and are playing a cheeky angle from the E-box wall, where they have created some head holes. Once again, they have reinforced and catered the meeting hatch. Will Maz be on a bit of a roam this time? Yes, indeed he is. He's on the top floor in Dorm Main Hall. Currently going down the white stairs, just running around. He did prove incredibly crucial on their previous defense. Unfortunately not able to quite clutch it out for them, and he was eventually taken out. But him on the flank managed to put them back in a game that looked like they had very much already lost at the early stages. Maz and the Asher are possibly about to have a meeting here, as it's Rowdy has been alerted to the fact that Maz is playing in the kitchen. He's just holding an angle at the moment, not being too aggressive on it. He's just waiting for Maz to peek, but Maz chooses not to, as he instead goes all the way upstairs, back into the Dorm Main Hall, where he's going to be holding an angle. We currently see the likes of the Maverick on Y Jamie, currently creating just a little peek hole at the bottom of the wall here. If, of course, that Cade comes off his drone and moves into that position behind the shield, he could easily be shot out here by the likes of Jamie. Could be quite a critical kill if, of course, he can get it, as the C4 in the pocket of Fizzle was used very effectively last time from this very same position in denying the single E-box wall push. Oshink has fallen back from the E-box itself, as the wall has now been opened and is just holding a tiny little pixel. He has now been droned, though. Does he even see it? He doesn't even flinch. Maybe expecting somebody to, of course, swing that angle. Game on is shotgun in hand, just sat in the laundry room waiting for something to happen. Maz has gone all the way over to shower corridor and is currently waiting at the bottom of white stairs. As we see the members of Atlas, of course, clearing the top floor, trying to find this Jaeger, but not having done so. They are just chilling at the moment and deciding exactly how they're going to be pushing this one. It's Rowdy trying to get rid of that shield, but 2 Wamais do eat it up, meaning that shield will remain standing. And of course, all the Wamai discs have been used. It's Rowdy is just pushing straight in though. Collects Slushy, and Tipsy Ryan also collects Maz on the top floor. A swing though from Tipsy Ryan, or it's Rowdy, sorry, does get traded back by Oshink, who was playing super tight. The call did not come out, that was playing in that position. With 35 seconds left, the smoke canisters are starting to come out on the default plant, but the likes of Vortex Gaming have now been pushed off from their positions. Will somebody be pushing down white to try and get rid of this Cade? No, it looks like all 4 members are currently in the bottom of excuse me, Pillar and Blue Bum, trying to get this wall open. The Goya shield gets exploded, and behind the Goya himself of Oshink, the wall is currently being opened. He does realise it's happening, as Tipsy Ryan takes a bit of damage. Fizzle gets killed. Cade does refrag though, and a push into split, and that's a 3v1, 2v1. As the remaining member Game On now has to just deny this plant. The plant is not put down, and the defenders win it again. Once again on time, as the 2 remaining members did not have diffuser in hand, so were not able to force the plant. We saw the Ace currently stuck in elbow, and the likes of the Maverick, of course, pushing up pistol in hand, trying to just find that final kill, but was not able to do so, resulting in Vortex getting another round win on the board. Fair enough. Oh, excuse me. Apologies for my slight throatiness. I did have my dinner just before this, and it trying to clear it out my throat. So hopefully my talking will improve with a little drink, and as the stream progresses. Kid Storm's now being the site of choice for Vortex Gaming as they head into their final round of this half. Can they finish an even split of 3 rounds to 3 on their defensive side? Especially, I feel this would be an incredibly good position for them to finish at, due to, of course, them being, I would personally say, better on attack, but also the fact that some of these defensive rounds have been so close. They've been very lucky to have won them out. So if they can get another round on the board, you'd almost argue that they haven't deserved them. But the fact that they've still been able to secure them is going to prove very beneficial to them as they progress on. Rowdy is Ali B. Oh, fair enough. A very similar setup coming out once again from Vortex Gaming, using those ADSs to protect the smoke shield in the trophy room. You also have a Goya shield being played aggressively on the corner of this default plant position. Of course, if it does get destroyed in that position, then the fire will spread over into default plant spot. But of course, it can only be shot if the likes of Atlas get the bottom attic control and are able to shoot that red canister from this position. The other Goya shield once again being used in this attic hold right by the window jump-in. Currently, of course, not being very useful. The Ash is now playing below. She has managed to get the Cade off that wall. But being contested from above does take quite a bit of damage. I believe that was coming from the Cade shooting down through the floor. It does take about 35 hit points in that engagement. Of course, not being the healthiest at this point, but is now being droned in up these armory stairs. And begins to take the Malusi device, gives away the position. But is anybody playing in trophy? Currently, there is not. Instead, the likes of, oh my goodness, Shink just absolutely deletes the likes of its Rowdy through that soft breach on attic. Normally, I would prefer to hold that, of course, with a mirror window. But with mirror being banned on this one, that will not be the case. Another Maverick hole being made at the top to throw a nade through the attic wall to try and get the Cade off. Could also fly all the way down to the far end of attic and collect the life of Shink, who would have then fallen to a grenade for the second time in a row. Shots coming out now onto Game On, who's playing around the trophy shield. Thinks that maybe somebody's shooting in from the top armory stairs window, but nobody is shooting at the moment. Maz does manage to get another good kill for his team, collecting the head of Tipsy Ryan as he tries to push through trophy. It seems that Vortex Gaming have very much got the better of Atlas so far in this game. After having been defeated 3 rounds on defense, they're managing to start bringing this one back, and this one is looking a lot more comfortable for the likes of Vortex Gaming. There's still 50 seconds on the clock though, so a lot can still happen before this one is over. But so far they certainly seem to have the advantage. Fizzle playing at the bottom of White Stairs, just waiting for anybody to start pushing in. As we now see the Nomad vaulting in to the top of Armory Stairs, and the 2 remaining members of Atlas dropping into the bottom of Attic. Cake does secure himself a kill, hitting the person at the back of Silver Bunk. He's now also watching on top of White, just waiting for members to push in. He does see the smoke canister get thrown out, so he knows the position that Smoke is playing. And Jamie and Bino are just droning out now. They do have a safe position to be playing, since of course the walls have been reinforced. But now with only 15 seconds left, they have to try and execute. Bino does have diffuser in hand, but it's been denied by the smoke canister. He has to run in and try and do something. He's taking damage, not all that much. Jamie has been down though. A double kill for Oshink as the C4 comes out, and the 1 remaining member is left. But the final defensive round does indeed go in favour of Vortex Gaming, and that one looked a hell of a lot cleaner from them, a lot safer, not quite as down to the wire as the previous 2 they won, which means that of course they are finishing comfortably on a very nice split half. 3 rounds apiece to each of these 2 teams. Let's see whether Atlas's defense can of course completely stop the onslaught from Vortex Gaming, or will it be too difficult for them to push in. Will the defense from Atlas be better than their final attacking rounds? We'll just have to wait and see. Certainly after the first few rounds I was expecting a little bit more from Atlas, but Vortex have certainly stepped up their game on this one, bringing of course the score back to even so far. Ushin. Okay. I'll just call him Sink. The thing is, I know several people who are called Oshink, Oshin, and also, in that case, Ushin. So, I'll just try and remember which one it is, but cheers for letting me know, Leg. Looks like Atlas here have decided that they're going to be going for a hard bunker hold, of course using this smoke shield in elbow. It's their advantage. As we see Cake swapping onto this one, currently with 7 kills to his name. Let's have a quick look at the scoreboard then, ladies and gents. Of course, I think the scoreboard speaks numbers, as of course despite the equal scoreline, the kills are very much in favour of Atlas, as they have managed to almost kill the entirety of Vortex on 2 occasions when they were on the deep offense. Unfortunately though, for the side of Atlas, there was a couple of rounds where they weren't quite able to complete either the plant or the push, not securing themselves around, leaving everything a little bit too late, which unfortunately has meant that the scoreline is so evenly placed at this 3-3. Push coming out from Vortex at the moment does appear to be on to, the rear stage stairs and also through into Blue Bunker. The likes of Tipsy Ryan is now playing on the Goyo, bringing that Vector into play on these back stairs right here. Does also sound like, yes, Rowdy is playing slightly higher up in the big tower. Shots missing on a stationary drone. I bet he will wish when he watches this back that I wasn't spectating him for that point. He's now being droned out again as the side of Vortex is trying to work out exactly where he's gone. Tipsy Ryan still is supporting him though slightly further down these rear stage stairs. Do you see the likes of Maz who is starting to push on in here? He does ping the Malusi device, he uses one of his Ophirs to clear it. So that is no longer a problem. And the likes of Game On and the Ash of Oshin are pushing through into the main lobby. Slushy does take off the head of Jamie though. I believe that was playing somewhere around the meeting. Not actually sure where the man died. Yep, I have no idea about that one. But the man is now dead and taken off the scoreboard. Maz is struggling to, of course, get through the door as he sees Fizzle getting in his way. And we now see the likes of Vortex starting to push down this laundry staircase. Seeing that there's a lot of utility on the other side, a lot that they have to push through. And now opting to go for the laundry take instead. You now see the members of Atlas realising that this threat is coming from a different side and swapping around. But Maz is already deep in sight, just holding close onto this breach, waiting for someone to swing. As Oshin also gets a kill. It's Rowdy does refrag his friendly by taking Oshin out of the game. But now it's a 4v3 as Maz just holds this angle. Game On drops hatch with Yings going off in sight. Trying to find the defenders. He does see Rowdy close, but unfortunately it's too late to be taken out. Maz manages to claim Cake as he tries to go through the rotate, and Fizzle does collect Rowdy, who is now down on the floor. Tipsy Rain is now in a 1v3. Does manage to get Maz, as Maz has no idea where he's coming. The call comes too late. Tipsy Rain manages to collect the head of Fizzle, and it's now a 2v1. Slushy does manage to secure the kill. He realises he's in freezer. He has the diffuser in hand, and he manages to land the headshot. Tipsy Rain with a 1v4, 1v3 clutch as his friendly was down on the floor. Very well played there. Completely taking out Maz and Fizzle, having no clue where he was pushing from. Eventually, Slushy, though, did know where he was facing off in the gunfight, but unfortunately was not able to win it on a one-on-one. That was a round that should have very much gone in favour of Vortex, but they threw that one away right at the end there. Shame for them, but very well played on the side of Atlas, and especially Tipsy Rain for managing to clutch that one out. Yes, yes indeed, Shankar. I hope it doesn't look that bad either. I still haven't watched our stream from earlier, but I may do. Just to see how bad we were. Want to see some of my whiffs, because I got absolutely slapped. Is it Tipsy Rain or Tipsy Ryan? Because I know he's got the A and the Y the wrong way round. Is it supposed to be Tipsy Rain or Tipsy Ryan? For those of you that know these people, because unfortunately I do not. Well, I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. Certainly not personally. As we now see the side of Atlas going to the top floor. Having won the basement defense that they maybe weren't expecting to. Rain, perfect. Thank you for confirming, Scott. But his name's Ryan. Fair enough, one of those way. One of those. Funny joke there, Chanka. Similar operators being bought on the side of Atlas as they go for this top floor hold. Slightly less shields than we saw on the side of Vortex, but will Atlas be able to, of course, utilise this? Also, completely footholds being opened up, no reinforcements being committed to the attic wall here. Maybe, of course, expecting to hold onto the attic, and of course, in difference to Vortex Gaming, they have reinforced the trophy attic wall here fully, rather than leaving one side open. They have also done the same with the attic wall, although the side of Vortex Gaming did not leave that one open. Sink is currently stood on top of the balcony trying to get any pics that he can, but nothing at the moment. It also looks like Jamie has a Vault cam outside, is waiting for the run out. He does see where the Ash is, waiting for her to go on repel. She has now just gone on repel. He sees her upstairs. Does he realise that somebody's possibly watching this run out? I'm not quite sure. Is there anybody watching the run out? I'm not sure there is. No, indeed, there is nobody watching the run out. Will we, of course, see the Valkyrie being able to capitalise on this? Especially with the Ash playing so aggressively. The Ash now sees that the window was prepped and is playing around. I believe they have now got the Vault cam. Not quite sure from where. But the Vault cam is out of commission, so any run out is likely not going to occur now. Closet wall has been opened with a couple of aces. Ying's now coming out as well, as they have used the ace charges to... No, sorry, a hard breach gadget on the Ying to get into attic. Game On has collected one, but... sorry, Jamie has taken the head off the Sink. It's Rowdy has also collected Slushy, and it's now a 5v2 with one member being stuck in the attic with those holes. It is Maz. He does do a bit of damage onto Bino, but Bino keeps peeking. He may eventually win this by scoring a headshot, as there's only certain parts of Maz that he can hit. It's now a 5v1 situation. Maz does down him, but Cake swings the corner, securing the kill and giving Atlas a flawless round on this top floor defense. Very well played to them, completely shutting down any of the aggression that was trying to come out from the side of Vortex Gaming, meaning that the likes of the Ying and other such operators were just completely nullified in that push, not really being able to get much traction. And of course I felt with those footholds in attic, the attic push maybe was not the call, but that's where most of the members committed to. Not quite sure where all the other members of Vortex died so quickly, but hey ho. Unfortunately I can't see every single kill. I don't quite have the ability of the replay camera, but we'll just have to wait and see. Currently, by the way, 96% of you, or 96% of the channel points have been bettered onto Atlas winning this one, and they're certainly looking more like it than they were as they finished the second half, having of course got 5 rounds to their name now, while there's only 3 to the side of Vortex. And having won 2 defensive rounds on the row, they're certainly looking slightly stronger than the likes of Vortex Gaming did at this same point in the match. Vortex Gaming, though, have claimed a small amount of channel points that have been betted against them, but that only amounts to 4%. They're not currently all diamond stock, by the way. I had a quick run through, and only one of them is currently diamond, but they're all like, apart from one of them, they're all plat ones. But yeah, I agree, absolute beasts. All very good gunners, it does seem like. Very good at landing their shots, as of course we have seen so many kills dropping between all of them. The only people, of course, maybe not pulling their weight at the moment are Bino and Jamie. But of course there is still a few rounds left where they could show up big, and certainly for the likes of Bino, he has done his part by getting the assists. A lot less kills on the side of Vortex Gaming, so to of course see them with 3 rounds, as I said earlier, is a little bit surprising, but that is maybe because Atlas did throw a couple of rounds on their attack. Yes, indeed, Jamie is P3. Vortex Gaming deciding to go for a full big tower clear, as we see the Ash of Sink already in, starting to aggressively push this attic position. They are getting drones in nice and quick. Will they spot out the player who is currently sat chilling on the bullet hole at the end of attic? Rowdy doesn't even realise that the attic is open. He does see Mazo, or Shink, sorry, and does claiming. Also claims like a Slushy. Pistol out, does secure himself the kill. Rowdy is still on 30 health though, trying to contest his angle as best he can. Jamie is being shot behind him though from the trophy. He does get wall banged in the end, and a C4 comes out trying to collect his kill. Doesn't manage it, and Rowdy is now down on his arse with Jamie trying to support, but only so much he can do. Maz does claim the kill onto Rowdy from the top armory staircase. but is not able to claim anymore. As Jamie swings and collects the head of Fizzle, it's now a 2v4 situation with Game On and Maz being completely separated on the map. Game On being stuck in the attic, and Maz being all the way down near the security room. He's now pushing on into sight. Tipsy Rain doesn't realise how close he is and just gets shot in the back behind that shield. Vortex Gaming now do have site control. Game On has pushed in and is looking to try and find a safe place to plant, as Maz is just currently watching his flanks. Currently we see Jamie still above. Bino is close and the C4 comes out. Cake does collect Game On, who was trying to defuse. I believe that was through the floor. No, it was from the long angle, but Maz sees him and takes Cake off the board. It's now a 2v1 situation. Maz has to try and make something magical happen here with 1 minute left on the clock. He tries to bait out the defuse. Jamie hears it, so does Bino. They're deciding exactly what they want to do. The Goyo shield has been blown up. Now Maz is going to try and go for this plant again. He also destroys the other shield that Bino was playing on. But Maz decided not to go for the plant. Now all that fire that he created with the Goyo shield has now been put to waste. And a swing from Bino takes about 50 hit points off. Maz has about 30 seconds to try and make something magical happen here. But he doesn't know where the likes of Bino is. Jamie has also rotated around and is trying to push on through the security room as a plant now goes down close. Pre-fire coming through, does collect the kill. Jamie, of course, realising that he wasn't behind the box, the default plant spot, and just pre-firing through the soft wall as he hears the flank go down, manages in the end to collect Maz cleanly. Very well played there once again from Atlas, getting their 3rd defensive round in the row. Will they be able to make it 4 defensive rounds in a row and secure themselves this map 1 victory in round number 10? The score would be 7-3. We'll just have to wait and see how this one plays out. Laundry Room Supply Room being the site of choice for the side of Atlas, as they have now won 3 sites, or played 3 sites. It does mean that the first one that they won of Laundry Room is now available to be picked. Soshi swapping back out on the side that Ying does seem to be a operator that the side of Vortex want to be bringing a lot in this one. However, not really having the impact that you possibly expect, whether those Candelas have been eaten up by ADSs or Slushy has just been taken off the board so early, does mean that Vortex hasn't seen the use that they wanted out of the Ying. The Goyo being bought this time once again by Tipsy Rain. Will this man be able to clutch as he did previously, or will Atlas be able to secure this round slightly more securely than they did do previously? Rowdy did see a drone, tried to shoot it but missed his shots. Still more accurate than I was earlier. I just couldn't hit my shots either, so I feel for the man. And we see the likes of Cake and Jamie doing their setup around the map as well. Once again, the Melusi putting the Melusi charge at the top of the rear stage stairs. And in sight we do see the smoke going to be playing the elbow angle. But here we see Rowdy playing a very aggressive angle. He's waiting. He hears somebody close. Does he realise they're going up onto that little spot? He's waiting for the angle. He sees the head. The pre-fire comes out, but he doesn't quite land it. He's playing very aggressive, but finally decides to give it up as he doesn't quite win that gunfight. And the longer he stays around there, the easier he could be pre-fired by the likes of Fizzle. Fizzle now just playing very passively, waiting in case somebody else tries to do a cheeky run out on him. As we see the remaining members of Vortex swarming around this big tower once again. Seems to be their point of entry on all of these attacks so far, as we now see the likes of Maz, who has now dropped into the top. Now drops into tier 2. They have certainly the tier 2 control, unless of course somebody tries to rotate through attic. Tipsy Rain is playing aggressively on these rear stage stairs. Will he be able to pick up a kill? Maz is incredibly close right here. These two operators maybe don't know quite how close they are. I'm sure the likes of Rain does realise that there are people around as he hears the footsteps, but maybe doesn't quite realise how close Maz is. The C4 gets whipped out, but he's thrown too deep, so it doesn't collect Maz. And this Mexican standoff continues. Maz just holding this incredibly tight angle and now decides to swing it. At the same moment, the Tipsy Rain decides to actually fall off it. Bit of bad timing there. The hatch now, I believe, has been opened from meeting. Yes, indeed it has. So the push will now start coming in. The shield, though, being played in blue bunker is actually meaning that Jamie is still watching the angle. Fizzle, though, managed to get the kill onto its Rowdy, opening this one up nicely for the Vortex Gaming side. He was on the roam from the kitchen, but unfortunately gets taken out. Bino Happy does get a refrag though onto Sink, and Maz is also taken out by Bino Happy. It's now a 3v4. Can Vortex do enough here to stop this one from being an outright win straight away? I'm not sure that they can, as they have 3 members still above. They still have plenty of time to do it, so I think everything can still happen, but we are yet to see if that is actually possible. The Wamai here of Bino does get absolutely flashed, and his shield is now destroyed, but he's still playing in a strong position of bunker, and nobody is contesting him from behind. Slushy does take a lot of damage, some missed shots there from Bino, does eventually manage to get it. Also secures the head on Fizzle, and Jamie who secures the final kill onto Game On, making this 7 rounds to 3 in favour of Atlas, and they win map number 1. Second map we'll be going to will be Cafe. Congrats Atlas on their first game win. Very well played from both of these teams, but it has to be said that Atlas certainly looked far more dominant than Vortex Gaming. That Vortex were very lucky to win some of the defensive rounds that they did, and also Atlas became a little bit close, but even the moments where they had to clutch up, it still certainly looked like they were very much comfortable with a lot of their holds and everything. If Aaron is getting a 4K, your team needs to disband. Fair enough. I'll let you pass the message on to Maz yourself then, Leg. Anyway, I'll quickly finish off the predictions. Atlas did indeed win map number 1, so for those of you who put your points on them, congratulations, you now get a few more to your name. Second map we will be going to will be Cafe, but I will call a quick break between these 2 maps. I'm just going to run some ads while I get everything set up, so do stick around for the second half, and we will be going into map number 2, which is going to Cafe, very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back. Hopefully I've timed that already. I did. Maz is ready. And everybody else is ready. It certainly looks like it. Maz is... Hang on, everybody. So the second game will see us going on to Cafe. We'll have to see exactly how this one plays out. Will Vortex Gaming be able to find their feet a little bit more and, of course, bring some pain to the side of Atlas? Or will Atlas continue their, in inverted commas, dominant performance against Vortex so far? And will they be able to maybe clean up a little bit on their slightly sloppy finishes on their attacking side? Hopefully, if they are able to, then we will be able to get into this one. And, well, if they do, then we may see a 7-0 coming out on the side of Atlas. But with Vortex, hopefully they can either continue their run of good luck or certainly look to improve upon it and maybe get a few rounds under their belt. And not just through luck, but also through good, well-constructed plays, hold, whatever we want to call it. But starting on the offensive this time, we do see the likes of Vortex Gaming. So they will be attacking in the first half, and we will see Atlas defending. Atlas, so far, we only saw 3 defenses from them on Oregon, which they were able to win all of. Or was it 4? No, it was 4. I do apologise. There were 4 defenses by Atlas, and they were able to win every single one of them. Will they be able to continue that run of good luck, or certainly good plays on their defensive, and be able to finish the first half of this one? Since they're starting on defence 6-0, we'll just have to wait and see. The first 2 bans coming out are the Thatch and the Jackal, same ones as last time. Jackal being got rid of to hopefully shut down, well, enable the defenders to roam a little bit more. There's less that you'll be able to like track down specific roamers, get their position easily, without of course doing good drone work. So for teams that maybe don't have as good a drone work as others, will possibly be hurt by the Jackal ban. Once again, the Mirror getting banned off as well. And as I said, Thatch also being a pretty standard pick at the moment does mean that if Cade is not banned here, which hasn't been done on the side of Vortex Gaming, does mean that of course that Cade can be put in some sneaky spots, meaning certain walls are basically impossible to open unless you bring the lights of a Twitch or use indirect fire such as grenades and whatnot. But there we go, as I said, that the Cade is banned off this time, getting rid of that option. Well, let's see exactly how Atlas want to start this one. Will they go onto the top floor? Will they go onto the bottom floor? Certainly looks like their top floor is their starting position of choice. And that is where we will see them going for this first defensive round. So far, the side of Vortex Gaming has not had much luck on the offensive. Maybe with a different map, maybe with a small little break between the two, has given them enough talking time that they can maybe fix up what they were doing wrong on the offensive. They certainly seem to be getting that early control on the map, maybe some opening picks, pushing into sight, but eventually they were like waves crashing over the... crashing into the flood defences of Atlas. It maybe looks very spectacular, looks very scary, but at the end of the day, the defences hold strong, and the likes of Vortex Gaming were not able to push through them and cause any damage inland. You can tell I'm a geographer because that was a very geographical-based analogy, so I do apologise for those of you that really do not care for that stuff, but I do. So I'm going to do it. The castle being bought out from Y Jamie is opening some holes in and around the map. Not quite sure what all of that was for, but we do see a shield also being set up in the pixel angle here by the likes of Cake. Pinging onto a chair for Rowdy to try and put a ADS on it. Will it fit? Yes, indeed it will. Unfortunately, though, he falls off the table, so the animation is cancelled, but he does manage to get it down eventually. Excuse me, apologies, I have a bit of a cough this evening. It's Rowdy going for an aggressive spawn peek right off the bat. Will he be able to pick off the head of the Vortex player who is pushing from this position? He sees the Ash, but shots missing horrendously. Not even close to the Ash's position. I think he didn't quite see where she went to, not quite sure how. but he did one way or another, and we now see Vortex Gaming all heading to this roof. 3 of them on the south rappel, and 1 of them was on the east, opening up that white stairs window nice and quick, especially because it had been castled. Shots being used from the castle shotgun to open up the cocktail bar, hatch, meaning a rotate is available should they require it. But now all the members bar 1, all the members of Vortex Gaming are now on the roof, trying to decide how exactly they will be playing this one. The Ash of Oshin, or just Sink, is currently playing on this back alley rappel. Doesn't quite manage to get the head of the player running across those head holes that have been made in the soft wall. And he's also watching for that rotate. Currently nobody being able to capitalise on this, but we do see Tipsy Rain currently playing behind his shield in Pixel. Lots of ADSs and lots of Wamais being put in place to hopefully deny and delay people taking him out of this position. It's Rowdy playing aggressively on this Shiko spot, just firing off a couple of shots here and there, trying to see if he can collect anybody on the skylight, and also on that window rappel all the way over on the Scar Lounge. You see Sink on the other side of the map quickly dropping down that rappel and now deciding to push all the way up from the bottom of white. Maz does take a little bit of damage here from the smoke being thrown out onto the top of red stairs as he's trying to push in, and Game On managed to collect Rowdy. Not quite sure exactly where that was from, but a good, nice little shot, probably peeking onto that aggressive angle that Rowdy was playing from the Shiko position on that first bar. Does mean his head is taken off. Tipsy Ryan though, playing in this pixel angle, does take the head off Maz. And with so many Wamais and ADSs, that nade might not make it, but it does. Does manage to kill him, does a lot of damage though, and unfortunately for Game On, he is completely blind from friendly flashes, so he's not able to capitalise on the aggression that they provided onto the likes of Rain. Shots now coming out, as we also see Sink pushing up the white stairs from below. Not sure whether the mute realised the flank is on. Game On does get the kill. Shots being missed there from the likes of Sink. Does eventually collect Bino Happy, and it's now a 1v4 situation with Cakes currently lying in the freezer. He does see the planter going down. He does manage to take him out, but he's been pushed from all different sides, and eventually Slushy is the one to put him down on his bum and take him out of this game. A much better attack coming out there on the side of Vortex Gaming. Much better coordination and just able to push through the defences of Atlas this time. Able to slowly knock him down, get the kills they needed, and despite all those ADSs and Wamai discs, the Wamai was still grenaded off of that position and nearly lost all of his life in the process. Fortunately though for him, he was able to run away, but unfortunately for him and the rest of his team, he was eventually taken out later on, and they did consequently lose the round overall. Putting right at the very beginning of this second map, Vortex in the driving seat with 1 round to Atlas's 0. But with only 1 round being played, there's not much that we can gather from this, but certainly it gives us hope on the side of Vortex Gaming, since they do seem to be playing much more coordinated than they were in the previous game, as that was a better victory for them. It was not quite as close a thing as we have seen from them previously, and also did give us some hope for later rounds, hopefully going as well as that one did previously. Once again, lots of my discs and ADSs. Once again, one on this chair here, being played around the pixel angle. Does look like Smoke Shield will be placed there shortly, allowing the likes of Tipsy Rain to play there once again. Oh, my disc being thrown outside now to hopefully stop any projectiles taking out that castle barricade too early. The rest of the castle barricades are being used on the white corridor window, and also one on the, I believe, one of the cocktail windows. Once again, well, my disc going absolutely everywhere, but already we see the white corridor window, or white stairs window, being taken out. VSL is currently just watching for a peek from the bottom of white, but none is coming at the moment, as all players of Atlas are currently upstairs. As also Slushy puts the Nomad in a destroyed plant pot in the corner, A cheeky angle there being held by its Rowdy doesn't quite pay off though, as unfortunately he just about misses the head of Slushy as he peeks it. With his Nomad device out, could have meant that he won that gunfight very easily, but Oshink does manage to get Jamie from the skylight, meaning that castle is now off of the board. Rowdy has now fallen back to this cocktail lounge position, just spinning around and enjoying himself. Currently looking to see where the Ash is, doesn't quite see her, and falls back to the cocktail balcony. Oshink is looking for the runouts. Does he see the Wamai disc currently outside on the railing? I don't think he does, but currently stood on top of this vents unit watching the white angle, waiting to see if the player at Pixel does move from their position and he's able to take them out of the game. I think the call has possibly come onto Tipsy Rain to say that there is somebody on your white stairs window holding the very long angle. Hopefully, of course, he doesn't fall foul to this. As shots do come out onto Slushy, he does eventually get him, but Oshink does manage to get Cake in the process, and now repels up onto this white stairs window, trying to hold the angle onto Tipsy Rain. He does push off. Shots being down, going down range and landing. Tipsy Rain does eventually get him. Game on securing the kill though, but Rowdy instantly refrags that one back, getting a kill onto Game On. It's Rowdy and Beano now left in a 2v3 situation. Apologies. The Ash still making a nuisance of themselves from the from the east repel, but Rowdy just goes absolutely balls to the wall, jumping out and shooting Oshink in the head, and Beano as well collects himself the head of Maz, and now Fizzle is left in a 1v2 situation, trying to pick up Beano or Fizzle with his pre-fires, but Beano playing super close to the breach doesn't quite get him. He's currently stuck in the freezer. Shots coming out onto Beano, not quite managing to land, and Fizzle is in a very sticky situation right now, as the likes of Rowdy has been able to now join back up with his teammate Beano, and they can start pushing this one. The head of Fizzle is seen, and Rowdy swings the corner, collecting the final kill and securing the round for Atlas. Vortex looked like they nearly had it there, but some bad timing on his drone for the sink unfortunately meant that Rowdy was able to run out, collect the kill. Beano got the one pushing into freezer, and unfortunately Fizzle was then left all on his own sum in a 1v2 situation. Maybe a little bit more aggression from Fizzle could have secured him the round there, as of course he knew that the likes of Rowdy had been so aggressive and run outside, so it was going to be a while before he could join back in the fight. But of course, being quite scared of Cake with the SMG-11 and also having that shotgun in pocket, probably didn't want to swing the angle too close in case his head was just completely taken off by the so deadly SAS shotgun. As Atlas have now won the top floor in their second time of trying, we now see them going to kitchen service and kitchen cooking. I always forget the second site name. I always think it's kitchen supply. I'm not quite sure why. And that rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Come on, Maz, win me them points. Shank has certainly put a lot of faith on the side of Vortex Gaming right now. Hopefully they can continue their good, strong performance that we've seen so far, and actually be able to capitalise on their numbers advantage and win some of these rounds. It was a very brave move there from Rowdy. One that was definitely a match winner or a match loser. Unfortunately for Atlas in that situation, it was indeed a match-winning move, as Beano was able to collect the head of one of the attackers. So the remaining one was left all on his awesome in a 1v2, apologies. Beano now pinging the wall, asking the castle which side needs reinforcing, which side needs remaining open, and Castle is alerting him to this by nearly shooting his head off by popping some head holes in with his shotgun. The castle doing a relatively normal setup here, of course, using the double red bar door here, and also likely put one of his castle barricades on the coach window as well. His final castle barricade is used on the small bakery door into the main bake, meaning of course there is only a small rotate hole there, which means it's slightly easier for the defenders to actually hold this position. But currently, excuse my yawning, it does look like Vortex Gaming are going for a top floor down clear. Not too many roamers on the side of Atlas, apart from the likes of Rowdy, but as I say that, he is taken out from the skylight by Maz, who had dropped onto electrical and took out the man playing at the bottom in pillars. Maz is now pushing down with some drone assistance, just trying to spot out any members that are playing in the tier 2. But at this time, currently all members of Atlas are playing downstairs. The closest one to Tier 2 is the Bandit of Tipsy Ryan, or Rain, currently playing mid between Tier 1 and Tier 2 on these red stairs. A run out has been prepped on that window. As you can see, the bottom two wooden planks have been destroyed. So of course a run out can occur. But we also see Game On and Maz now going above and just opening up the control that they need through the floor to start contesting on into sight. Trying to open up the floor here so that shots can be sent through, or nades can be dropped straight through into Coach. They know where the castle is playing. The nade is being cooked and it's about to be thrown. It does drop in, but unfortunately for them doesn't do any damage to Jamie. And Tipsy Ryan does just run up the red stairs and collects Maz in the process, but does take a lot of damage as well. He's now still holding this angle quite aggressively against the sledge of Game On, who he does manage to somehow avoid taking any damage from. But Be No Happy does take out the like of Oshink, who was trying to push up from the bottom of the red stairs. I believe Tipsy Rain did have a slight poo there. He certainly seemed to go, oh phew, after that one, as Cake also manages to secure himself another kill, and it's now a 3v2. Game On and Fizzle being the last two remaining members of Vortex Gaming. Deciding exactly how they're going to push on into sight. They do still have the option to open up a little bit more of this freezer wall. As you see Game On dropping on into sight. He doesn't quite manage to land the shots onto Cake, and Cake takes him out with the SMG-11. And now it's a 1v3 once again for Fizzle, but as I say that, Tipsy Rain swings the corner and takes Fizzle out of this one as well, securing the second defensive round for the likes of Atlas. A very good defense coming out from there, very good cover of crosses, as we did see Ushin getting completely destroyed there as he tried to go to the bottom of the red stairs to take out the player on it, which was the likes of Tipsy Rain. Unfortunately though for Ashink and the side of Vortex, we did see, I believe it was Bino playing in the small bakery, able to support his friendly teammate, leaving him alive, which eventually of course resulted in them getting ahead on the man advantage and eventually winning this one out on kills. Does this league have any rules about skins/elites? I'm not too sure about this one, Callum. This is my first time casting for this league. So I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'm sure they probably do. I know a lot of the leagues at the moment do have rules and stuff on that. But I'm not quite sure what the rules are for this league in particular. The third site of choice for Atlas, after having won the top floor and the ground floor, now moves them on to the second floor and playing the reading and dining room. Maestro being brought along by Tipsy Rain, hoping to use those Maestro cams for some intel on the position of the attacking team, as well as also hopefully being able to deny some of that plant and do damage onto any attackers that happen to step in front of me. Apologies everybody. Sorry I'm yawning so much. I've had a very long day. Second Maestro cam going on top of the mining room display. A big top floor hold coming out here from the likes of Atlas, extending the site incredibly far all the way out into the freezer, using that castle as well to help with that extension. They have also opened up the hatch to allow them to rotate out of this position if they choose to do so. Also looks like they might be playing some of the vertical angles from above to try and stop the plant from being put down. Currently those angles have not been yet opened up, but if they do get opened up, then of course they can be played quite effectively. He's done a couple of casts, Callum, to answer that question. Be No Happy playing upstairs in this cocktail position, has taken a little bit of damage from the cocktail repel. He is still playing this position as long as he can, playing his life, as Rowdy does manage to pick himself up a kill onto Game On. Not quite sure where Game On had pushed in from, but he is no longer going to be able to push from there. We see the likes of Oshin playing on this repel, just waiting for the member of, the member of Atlas to swing him, as Rowdy does get taken off the board as well. Shots coming out here as Maz is also on the repel, playing the one on cocktail. as the likes of Slushy and Fizzle start pushing into the bar. The mute, though, very close, does shotgun Slushy straight to the face and puts him down on his ass and finishes him off with another shotgun round, getting himself a headshot in the process. Now we see a 3v2 coming out here. Shots on the skylight do secure the kill onto Jamie. Of course, the intel being used very good there. My English is not very good, though. My English very, very bad. As shots come out between Bino and Oshink, Oshink does manage to win that, but Cake collects Maz as he tries to repel in to the new Bauk window. Tipsy, Rain and Cake are now the last two remaining members on the side of Atlas, now fallen back down into site, just trying to play in and around site as best they can. Two members, though, left on the side of Vortex with 30 seconds to go. Exactly how they're going to push this will remain to be seen. Does look like a hatch drop into laundry, does seem like it's on the cards, as we do see Fizzle now dropping in. No rotate though into reading for him to utilise. He does briefly see the head of the castle, but isn't quite able to land the shot. And Cake very wisely decides not to peek that. Very little time being left on the clock now, as the Outer starts pre-firing onto the likes of Fizzle. Does take him out as Diffuser down on the floor, and Cake secures the final kill onto the likes of Oshin, securing the 3 rounds on the trot for the defense for the likes of Atlas. Seems they've shaken off what rust they did have in the very first round, as they were not able to clutch that one out, weren't able to win it, and have now won 3 defensive rounds on the trot. Currently putting the score as we head into round number 5, 3 rounds to 1 in favour of Atlas. Will they be able to continue this good form right until the very end? Or will we see Vortex Gaming be able to bring this one back a little bit as we progress onwards? As of course the top floor site is now available again, Atlas have decided to opt to go to this one once again. Will they be able to do as good a hold as they did the second time round, or will Vortex Gaming be able to find the holes within their defence and push home the victory? I'm certainly knowing that for those of you that put your money on Vortex Gaming right now, you're certainly hoping that they can do so. But Atlas have just proved impenetrable on their defence apart from that first round. But we could just put that down to, they had a little break, maybe got a little cold for a short while, but now they're back to full fighting form. And you can tell as they've run 3 rounds on the trot on defence, and quite convincingly as well.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I have no idea, Callum, why every single site wall was soft. It seems that they committed to the top floor hold very aggressively. In the end, of course, it paid off, as they weren't able to really open anything from below, but hey-ho. What we see here from the smoke is that the long bar and the first mini bar are getting shotgun shells shot through them. Shotgun shells shot through them. Goodness me, that's a bit of a tongue twister. So that the likes of Vortex Gaming, if they try and plant in these 2 locations, cannot do so, as shots can be sent straight through these openings that have now been made by the shotguns. We do see Oshink once again playing on the south rappel outside the cigar lounge. There's now droned out Jamie, but doesn't quite manage to land the shots, but game on from the hatch does manage to pick off Rowdy, who was possibly once again playing that angle aggressively onto the hatch. Unfortunately this time he was not able to get himself a kill, as he was not tricked out by that one. So the likes of Vortex were able to pick up the opening kill. Can they continue this forward for another round win? It remains to be seen, as we see Slushy? Goodness me, I can't English all of a sudden. Currently trying to destroy what is ever denying that wall from being open. It seems there's a mute jammer super close to this left-hand side, which indeed there is. But of course it does mean that the ace placed further over to the right does get the wall open. Jaeger, though, of Jamie is currently stuck in Cigar Lounge, currently playing on this whiskey box, now falling back to the castle barricade that is between Cigar Lounge and Cigar Shop. Watching onto the window, waiting to see what's happening. But he does see one player on the window, does just miss that shot, but eventually gets the kill onto Maz. Maz not having the best of games so far, as he's currently 1 and 5. Jamie does see the lights of the Nomad, misses most of his shots though. Playing on that wall, does manage to hit some more here though, and is 30 health remaining on the side of Slushy. Still stuck in this top red here, just waiting for a swing to occur. Does try the swing himself, doesn't quite see the Jaeger though, so he's not able to collect the kill. Fizzle on the roof as Jamie, as I go away from that, manages to eventually pick up the likes of Slushy, and it's now a 2v4. Side of Vortex Gaming is now outnumbered 2-1. After they started off this round so very well with that opening pick, they've now unfortunately lost the control that they needed as Cake swings out, managing to just go for the double peek and just makes it work. Fizzle once again in a clutch situation. Can he win this one out? But unfortunately not, as Jamie pre-fires that angle once again through the ace breach and secures the kill on to the ace, securing their 4th defensive round, putting the scores at 4-1 in round number 5. For the likes of Atlas. Their defense is certainly looking very strong right now. Unfortunately, Maz has disconnected from the game. He's done it just now, so I can pause the timer while we wait for him to reconnect. I will get told if there are any issues, and I need to continue. I'm not 100% sure what the rules are in this league and whether they differ on the pausing to let people join back. Hopefully that is chill. Oh, mute jammer glitch, fair enough. That's the last thing you want. Just hearing a mute jammer constantly in your ear for the entire game. Nobody wants that. I certainly don't want that. Anyway, while we have a spare moment, how is everybody doing this evening? I know there's only a few of you in chat for this game today, but for those of you that are around, how are you all doing today? Element can stream more. I've lost 5k points this week. What? I'll try my best, Chanka. I'll try my best. I do as many streams as I can, and certainly this week I'm looking like I'm not going to be doing many casts. I'm trying to get some other people to pick up some of the ones that I normally do, so I can have a little bit of an off week. Just a little bit downtime to myself and try and catch up on some of the stats for the ERSL, as I'm a little bit behind with them. All the games that have been played so far this week will need to be sorted, so hopefully I'm able to do that. Maz should now be able to pick an operator. Indeed he has. He's got Zofia, and we are now back in. Round number 6, the last one of this half. Can Atlas finish in a very strong position, going 5 rounds to the 1 that Vortex has managed to win, as we now see them going back downstairs into the kitchen service, kitchen cooking. Jamie, though, swapping off from the castle onto the Valkyrie. A little bit of a strange decision there in my eyes, as we'd maybe expect to see him stick on that castle, since of course the strats that they brought out last time did work very much to their favour. Those castle barricades, of course, stopping some of the rotates and repositioning that Vortex could have done, eventually resulting in the round win for Atlas. Not trusting Vortex with points again, lost 3k with them versus counteract. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you're about to lose a load more by the look of it, Chanka, unless they can get something going here, either on the offense or the defense. As I said though, kitchen service and kitchen cooking is the sites we will be going to today. And a quick look at the scoreboards as we are about to head into this round number 6. So far, Ashin is going big for the side of Vortex, with Game On supporting him somewhat with 4 kills. Unfortunately, the remaining 3 members have not been able to do their part, and maybe part and parcel for the reason that the score is so much skewed towards Atlas's favour, as quite a few rounds could have gone either way in the slightly earlier stages if Maz, Fizzle or Slushy were able to pick up a couple of kills. Mazzo currently seems to be having a bit of a ping issue. Hopefully that calms down for him, as that will not be very good. As we also see the side of Atlas once again sharing the kills around quite nicely. The only person not doing too much so far has been Bino, but he's done his bit, certainly on the last downstairs defense, or top floor defensive round, sorry. Being able to clutch out while Rowdy went for a little run around outside. And still able to win that one. Vortex Gaming going completely for, once again, a top floor down clear. Tipsy Rain, though, is playing aggressively onto this hatch and does collect Maz as he tries to drop down the hatch. Oh dear, Maz. You shouldn't have joined back to the game if that's all you were going to do. Nobody droned him in time. The call did not come out, and he's now holding a long angle onto that red hat, seeing if he can pick up another kill. Certainly a nice opening pick, and it does delay the push as well from the side of Vortex Gaming from pushing in from above. Tipsy Rain does get another one. Fizzle drops and he manages to collect him. A C4 goes off as well, taking game on down to considerably less hit points than he had previously. He's now trying to contest on to these red stairs, but doesn't realise where the likes of Tipsy has gone. Ashin has now pushed into the pillars position and is going through reading now. As you also see, Slushy still yet to drop down from the skylight. Manages to land a clean headshot through the banister there onto Tipsy Ryan, getting that long angle, winning that gunfight. Very nicely done. And putting them slightly back in this one. There's still one man behind, but they might be able to change this one a little bit further. But why Jamie is still up here, currently watching onto the skylight, not wanting to give his position away as shots come down. Not quite sure where on earth that came from. Maybe it was from below. Game on managing to shut down Jamie, and also in the same moment Rowdy was also taken out as well. So it now puts the scoreline very much back in favour of Vortex Gaming. 3 men left to the 2 of Atlas. The remaining 2 are now in sight. One of them, of course, is playing in Bakery, and that is Bino. And the other one, Cake, is playing close on this freezer shield. Cake, though, has been proving deadly so far with this SMG-11 in hand. And with 30 seconds left on the clock and 3 smoke canisters in his pocket, he can do a lot of denial for that freezer push. Of course, each of his smoke canisters lasting about 15 seconds. If, of course, he times them perfectly, then he can basically deny any push now with the last 30 seconds. But Oshin swings the corner. Nice little pre-fire there coming out, secures the head of Cake. And now it's a 3v1 situation for Bino. Maybe he doesn't realise the plant's going down. Why is Slushy stopped? Oh dear, this could be the moment that we see everything change for the likes of... Oh no. But as I say that, enough damage is done onto Oshin. Or sorry, is done onto Bino from Oshin from the freezer window. And that impact nade just about catches the edge of that double door between sights. And the man unfortunately blows himself right up. He went for the yeet, unfortunately didn't quite get it and ended up yeeting himself straight out of that one. A suicide going in the way of Bino. Does mean that fortunately for Vortex, they have now, as the sides now swap and they move on to the defense, do have 2 rounds to their name rather than the one that they had previously. However, Atlas still do seem to be in the driving seat right here as they have 4 rounds to the 2 of Vortex. Also, they seem pretty confident in this one as they are now bringing out the Amaru. Whether that's an intentional pick, it certainly looks like it, as the 6th pick has not come through yet. Maybe a rush is what they're going to try, or maybe just a tactical Amaru. Of course, starting a push into one position, and of course getting the Amaru to come in when all the attention of defenders is focused elsewhere. However, with them going on to the ground floor site, the kitchen cooking and kitchen service, does mean that Amaru maybe isn't quite as useful. The only thing I can see her being, well, apart from getting in top floor nice and quick and maybe clearing out some of those roamers, she of course will not be as useful being able to quickly zip into the ground floor site. One thing she could do though is drop into the freezer, get a plant on behind the B-bomb, and then quickly get herself back up out of the hatch and playing above on the vertical angles. Although there is no vertical angle you can hold directly onto where that diffuser is, certainly play around, and if you have the numbers advantage, it should be quite an easy thing to just drop down and kill the diffusing player. Any spawn peaks coming out here? Yes. We see Oshin trying to get a few peaks there. We're not managing to land anything, but not being taken out in the process, so quite fortunate for both sides. Let's have to see. It does seem like Slushy is preparing this castle barricade for a quick teardown by meleeing it I believe, 10 or 11 times it's required before it breaks. He's trying to remember how many times he's hit it. Hopefully he's hit it just the right amount, otherwise he could be in a spot of bother. But already we see the members of Atlas already running in and taking the bakery. The Marovitz Rowdy now starting to swing the angle. Jamie though takes the head off game on. I know there was a mute jammer on that wall. That sledge takes very quick care of the castle barricade. They've also started opening up prep, and smokes now go through trying to burn off the shield. And there we go, a second nade goes in. Does it manage to do it? Does a little bit of damage onto Fizzle, but he does manage to walk away. But the side of Atlas are slowly pushing in and, of course, making a nuisance of themselves. Still, 5 members of Atlas left with 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Does put them in good stead for winning this one. Fizzle firing a few shots out and being flashed out of his position. Jamie does take quite a lot of damage there, and Oshin on the flank does take out Tipsy Rain, but Cake does get the refrag straight back. As it's Rowdy is now in sight, putting the pain down onto Fizzle. He does swing and get the kill onto Maz. The C4 was thrown, but doesn't quite land. Slushy does get Cake, and Rowdy is now down on the floor. It's now Bino in a 1v1. He lands the shots, and Bino wins the 1v1 after downing, I believe, Slushy. Behind that counter, 2 members of each, well, 1 member of each team was down on their arse, and Bino, and unfortunately there right at the end it was Slushy that was last man standing. It was Fizzle who was on his arse. It ended up coming down to a 1v1, and Slushy was able to, well, Slushy was not able to clutch it, unfortunately, so Rowdy, unfortunately, well, fortunately for Atlas, was able to win that one. I'll do a quick pause once again to let Game On hopefully join back in, and as long as there are no further issues. Whew. Well, he's had enough off to bed. Yeah, to be fair, I get that. Just saving my throat a little bit because I am rubbing my throat raw. That's exactly the wrong terminology, but yeah, I'm beginning to struggle. Error in application. I can't do anything. Sorry, mate. Fair enough. So it seems that there has been a complete siege crash on the side of Game On. Hopefully you can restart and join back in nice and quick, and a rehost isn't required. However, if a rehost is required, we will go and do that. Although that then does need me to try and remember exactly what rounds have been won, what rounds have been lost, so we'll have to see. Atlas, though, now just need 2 rounds to secure themselves the victory on this second map. Will they be able to continue their dominant form against Vortex, or will Vortex be able to find their feet a little bit, with, of course, these unexpected timeouts giving them a little bit of a chance to have a chat, but of course it does mean that they are able to have a bit of a talk about what's happened so far, what they can improve on, and hopefully, of course, if they can find a way to improve and get better and beat this Atlas team, then we may see this one going to overtime. There's still plenty of time for them to do it. They're not quite backed into a corner yet, as Atlas are not on their match point, but a lot still needs to happen, of course, before this game is said and done. Will Atlas win it in just 2 rounds? Or will we see Vortex put up quite the fight and this one goes to at least 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 rounds? We'll just have to wait and see. I think the total could be 8 rounds. I'm not quite sure. Can't rejoin either. Yep, so they need a rehost. Yep, looks like a rehost has been called. So I will just need to get that set up and sorted for you guys. Hopefully it won't take me too long. And I forgot to check the bans. It was a Thatcher, Jackal, Mirror, and who was the last one? It was a Cade, wasn't it? Let's get another custom game set up right away. And the score was 4-2, was it not? Yes, thank you, Callum. I did think it was a Cade, but thank you for confirming. Create spectator, team only, perfect. Now bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, while I get this one all sorted and set up, ready for everybody to join back in. Quickly drop an invite to them all, so bear with me 1 second. We were on Cafe, the band operators were Thatcher, Jackal, Cade, and Mirror. And I've got to try and remember the history. So the first, I need to see what teams everybody's on as well. Hopefully they'll get in nice and quick and get themselves sorted out once I have confirmed though. But we have round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6. Round 7 we're about to play round 8. So I should be able to get this history sorted once the teams have decided. Yep, I know, I need to get it sorted. Right, they're that way around. So, we will be wanting to see Atlas starting on... Atlas needed to start on defense. So the orange team and blue team. So orange team won on top, blue team won there, then they won there, then they won there, then they won there, and then orange team won there, then blue team won there. I believe that's right, guys. That should be the right scoreline. We're just waiting for 2 final members to join in on this one. And once everybody's in, then we will hopefully get this one underway. And hopefully as well, I've also got all the round history set up correctly. Do let me know in chat if you think I'm wrong. But it should be 2 rounds to orange team. So orange win. Yeah, orange have got 2 wins, blue have got all the others. Doesn't matter too much about the first 6 as long as they're the right way around, but the blue win of course did come through on the kitchen service, so I think both of those are correct. Just now waiting for the last 2 members of Atlas to join back, and then once everybody's in we will be ready to go. Apologies for the delays in this one this evening. Who's the last person that we're waiting for? Trying to remember who plays on each team. Oh, it's a late evening. I'm very tired. We'll just have to wait and see if Atlas can finish this one off nice and quick. The score will be 5-2. And when everybody's back in, which they now are. Just need to confirm. As soon as I get the go-ahead from both teams, we will head straight back into this one. Just waiting for 1 player from each team to confirm that each team is now ready. Once they've done that, we can head on back into the game. I would go into game chat, but I don't know what any of them are saying, so we'll just have to wait. There you go, Mass should have got the ping. And once you've been given the confirm, react, ready. Cool, everybody's ready. Let's get back into this one. Kick it off where we left off, which should be around number 8. About to see the defense coming out from Vortex Gaming, and of course seeing which side they're going to be on. There we go, everything's correct. Kitchen Service is going to be the site of choice for Vortex since they did not win it. But of course, will they be able to put up quite the same defense against the side of Atlas in this game? Or will Atlas once again just be able to walk straight through? That's a little bit peculiar. Slushy doesn't appear to actually have an operator. Slushy has now left the game. Oh dear. What exactly happened there? Just getting the go-ahead from Amazar. There we are. We are good to go.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Not quite sure why Slushy had an issue there. Hopefully he joins back in soon, but unfortunately for the side of Vortex, too many pauses have occurred due to members leaving. So I've been informed by the admins of this league that I need to just continue, unpause, and get this game underway. Does put Vortex in a bit of a sticky situation, since they haven't necessarily been as comfortable on the defense as we've seen Atlas being, and of course Atlas have been able to win out the rounds when they were against a 5, so now being against a 4 could mean that we very easily and very quickly see this going to match point in favour of Atlas. Hopefully though, Slushy does join back nice and quick, so that of course this isn't a 4v5 for the remainder of the game, but that is yet to be seen. Does look like from the side of Atlas they're just going for a straight bakery take. No members actually, as I say that. The likes of Machine is upstairs opening up the window, but Jamie is already taken out. Maz Ushin is probably in a 4v5, unless you're actually going to spawn peek and get the kills early on. You really don't want to be roaming upstairs. Fizzle does do a little bit of damage onto Cake with his smoke canister, but unfortunately it's not quite enough to take him off the board, as now bakery control is completely in the hands of Atlas, all 5 members being inside. Ashina has now come down from his flank and does take out the likes of Jamie pushing in from the small bakery, but it is called, and a pre-fire there coming out, collects head of Bino as he tries to swing the small bake door. Now the numbers are back in favour of Vortex Gaming now in a 3v3. The swing coming out from Fizzle now collects the head of the Ash pushing up aggressively. That was Rowdy, and the nade destroys the shield but doesn't connect onto Fizzle. Tipsy Rain playing now on the Ayana, trying to get angles through onto this double window. Just waiting for Fizzle to play, but now in a 2v3. It looks like Vortex Gaming might actually be able to have this one. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence on the side of Atlas resulted in them falling foul to some aggressive plays coming out from the side of Vortex Gaming, and the prone smoke manages to somehow walk away with his life from that one. The same can be said for the likes of Cake, who was already on relatively low health to begin with, and was now left on even lower health after that engagement. Another nade being cooked here by the Ayana gets thrown over Harful. Cake does pick up the likes of Oshin, and is now pushing on the main corridor / the red corridor. Looking at Harful, nobody is there. He's waiting to see where the player is. He sees the bandit, managed to pick him up. That's game on down on the floor, and somehow Cake is still alive. Fizzle now with about 30 hit points to his name is now in a 1v2. Does a shit ton of damage onto Tipsy, but Rain is still up and running. And now the remaining 2 members come in. Tipsy Rain does manage to finally collect the kill onto Fizzle. Nice gradual slow push coming out from the remaining 2 members of Atlas do mean that they end up walking away with the victory on that one, despite the best efforts of Vortex bringing that one very much back in their favour, going from a 4v5 to a 3v5 to a 3v3. It was very well done on Vortex, but unfortunately right at the very end, when they of course needed to be clutching this out, they were not able to do so. Unfortunately, it does look like Slushy has not been joining back, and I've been told that I'm not allowed to do any more pauses, so the game will continue as is, I believe. And we're now on match point, a 5v4 situation coming out right here with Atlas versus Vortex Gaming. It does look like Vortex Gaming have unfortunately lost this one now that they are in this 4v5, but hopefully they can magic something out to give them enough time for the likes of Slushy to join back. If of course he cannot rejoin with the old invite, then unfortunately they have used up all their rehosts according to the page and league owner, so a rehost will not be able to be called at this late stage for them to get their final player back in. We will just have to wait and see what happens with this one then. Will this be a 7-2 win in favour of Atlas, or will Vortex be able to hold on just long enough to get their player in, if of course he can indeed join back? I would have expected Slushy to have joined back by now, so the fact that he hasn't possibly means that he is unable to do so. in which case it will be a 5v4 until this game finishes, whether that's after one round or whether that's after more rounds, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see on this one, but unfortunately for Vortex Gaming, they are left in this slightly unfortunate position. But the Amaru is already coming in. It's Rowdy jumping straight in onto the white stairs, gets his head clean taken off, and nice and quickly. Does now put this into a 4v4. Maybe the aggressive play from Rowdy was not in fact the play. Cake though is on the hatch, getting all of these open nice and quick. Drones coming in from the like of Atlas. Now that they've lost a player and the numbers advantage isn't very much in their favour, then they may be trying to take this one slightly slower. As you say, Callum, it could be that his mum turned the Wi-Fi off. Maz, though, collecting another kill, now putting Vortex very much back into this one as he collected the head of Jamie. A perfectly cooked nade, though, coming out from the likes of Cake, does manage to secure game on, so the numbers are back in favour, well, of either team right now. Certainly slightly more so Atlas, since they do have the advantage, since they are currently the team sat on the match point. Both drones being taken out on the side of Nade, though, does mean that he now has to go in completely blind and get droned in by his friendlies. One drone left on the side of Tipsy, and one drone left on the side of Bino. Somebody being spotted on white stairs, but a C4 from Maz. He's showing up big exactly when his team needs to. Manages to collect Tipsy Rain on top of the skylight angle. Shots, of course, coming out now from Cake, trying to answer back, trying to get a refrag, but unfortunately not. Vortex Gaming have done a very good job of delaying the push through from Atlas, as they now finally drop the red hatch and start pushing into the cigar lounge. Bino is now following in behind Cake, as they now start the push on towards site. If they can get the kills here that they need, then maybe they will still win this one. Cake, though, left on a dangerously low amount of hit points, about 15 to his name, as we also see the lights of Fizzle flanking up these red stairs. If a flank drone is on it, then the callers come out, because certainly Bino seems to be very interested in this direction. But currently, if Fizzle times this swing perfectly, he could get both remaining members of Atlas. He does get Cake. He swings the angle, swings it again, this time on the breach, and now Bino's left in a 1v3. Shots just miss his head, but he's now being flanked from the white door, and Oshin picks up the final kill, meaning Vortex Gaming do actually get a round back on Atlas, despite the numbers disadvantage, as one of their members has been able to come back into this game. Hopefully they can continue this form and might even be able to win as a 4v5 versus Atlas. However, it still looks very unlikely, with Vortex basically being unable to make any mistakes right here. And a mistake that I think they're about to make is going back to the kitchen service, kitchen cooking. They've lost it every time they've gone there so far, both with the numbers that they had previously, so the 5, but also now with the 4. They were unable to win it, but they've decided to go back there once again. If I was them, I maybe would have decided to change up the site a little bit, maybe try and do something on reading. So I hope for their sake that this one pays off, but certainly seeing how Atlas have attacked this one so far every previous time, I am very much expecting to see Atlas come away with the win after this very round here is played and finished. Looking at the scores after the reset, of course Cake has shown up big so far. Jamie and Tipsy Rain also doing their fair share of work. Rowdy and Bino, of course, not getting the love that they deserve from the scoreboard since the rehost. On the side of Vortex, they have now been putting the numbers up, however it might be too little too late. 3 kills to Oshin, 1 to Game On, 2 to Mads and 2 to Fizzle. However, as I've said, with them being a man down now, unfortunately it possibly does mean that they've done too little too late to come away from this one with anything more than a loss. They're not even able to get the win in this game, which should get them the draw points from the best of 2. Of course, they may surprise me, there's still Siege to be played, but certainly right now, if I was Vortex, I would not be feeling too grand. And if nothing else, that psychological factor of being in this dire situation could be what unhinges them and causes them to, unfortunately, lose this one. However, I keep saying all of that, but there is still plenty of Siege to be played in front of us, and we might see something magical come out on the side of Vortex that means that they ultimately result in the win. Fizzle, though, here opting for a very strange weapon choice on the Melusi. Goodness me, apologies for my tiredness. Now bringing out the shotgun, but as I say, that Tipsy Rain on the opposite side of the map does take out the roaming Ashin on these white stairs. And with no wall denial actually being put on that freezer wall, the freezer wall is now being opened by the ace. Crouch hole. Maz does manage to get a kill on Sabino, but in running away it does get put down to 1 if not 2 health. And it's now basically a 4v2 since Maz is so low he can't bear to peek anything, but a cheeky little headshot, cheeky little angle being held there by Game On does put Rowdy on the floor. It's now a 3v3. Numbers once again somehow swung back in favour of Vortex Gaming despite the fact that they are outnumbered at the moment. Pre-fires through the wall though, the call was made to the position of that bandit and he hadn't moved, so Jamie is able to collect that kill. Cake is now also watching onto the double door, trying to see if he can collect anybody. If only he knew how low Maz was, he could maybe get a Twitch drone in there and just zap him twice. However, now the push needs to come out. There's still 1 minute 10 on the clock. A lot has already happened in this game, as we now see the likes of Cake just walking inside. Doesn't realise Maz is behind him though, as Maz kicks up a double kill, taking out the likes of Cake. Now it's just Tipsy Rain left in a 1v2. Fizzle also managed to remain hidden right until the very end and was able to make that shotgun work, despite the fact that it's often not the gun you would expect to see on Malusi. As I say though, Tipsy Rain is now in a 1v2. The C4 coming out from Maz doesn't quite manage to land on him. Shotgun from behind. He does collect Maz as he doesn't also have, and the flick manages to miss the Malusi, so Fizzle clutches out that one for his team, and Vortex's chances are kept alive for one more round. My goodness. As I say, if only they'd had this sort of performance earlier on against Atlas, then this maybe would have been an incredibly different scoreline, but as it currently stands, Atlas is still on that match point, and the side of Vortex Gaming in this 4v5 still need 2 rounds to get it to overtime. Can they do it? I don't necessarily know whether Atlas are throwing Callum. They seem to still be doing things relatively sensibly. I think there's just more aggression and in sort of like a, oh fuck this, we probably lost it anyway, coming out from Vortex, and somehow it's just working. So far anyway. We may see things change. This time it seems like maybe a rush is in order. Lots of 3-speed operators on the board on the side of Atlas. They have bought the Ying as well, which sees Fizzle switch from that Malusi on to the Warden. The site they will be going to now is the reading room and dining. I think it's actually called Fireplace something or other. Not sure it's called dining, but I always call it dining. So we'll see. Oh, goodness me. Fireplace hall, there we go. Apologies for my tiredness today. I have played my own league game today. Been up for quite some time and yeah, just had a lot to focus on. So I'm quite tired. Apologies for the yawning. I will try and reduce that. But hopefully if they end this game nice and quick, whether it goes in favour of Vortex or Atlas, I don't really mind. I can get to bed and go have some sleep. A bit too much overconfidence of Vortex has realised that. Indeed. Well, I think at the moment, Callum, to be perfectly honest, you are the only one currently watching this. You're certainly one of the few. Game On going for quite an aggressive angle here, looking from the cocktail balcony window. 3 members of Atlas have repelled up to this position. So if only he knew, a C4 could have come out and maybe collected all 3 in one go. Currently though, a drone being put in for Bino. He's waiting for the call for him to start pushing in. He has now dropped the diffuser, I think, so he starts pushing in. Here he goes! But a nice little swing from Maz does take his head clean off. As now Maz plays around this door. The Game On, though, has been downed upstairs from the skylight or the cocktail window. And Ash charge from below doesn't quite manage to claim him yet, as Maz gets a second kill, this time onto Rowdy. And Ashin has pushed upstairs to help his fallen comrades, so it's now a 4v3. Atlas seem to very much be throwing this one at the moment, not necessarily having the cohesion that they need, despite this being a 5v4. They're letting Maz and the rest of Vortex get easy opening picks onto them, but the likes of Tipsy and Cake do now have the fireplace hall control. Calls coming out though, because there is a Valcam somewhere hidden in this room. Cake doesn't quite see the operator. He now does, and he managed to take out Ashin, but Maz gets a triple kill. Will he get an ace on this one? Can Maz do it? Does he quite see the head? I think he does, but a little bit too late, unfortunately, missing his shots there onto Jamie. Jamie now sees Maz. Shots coming through. Maz is left on very low health, and Tipsy Rain does manage to pick up a kill of his own on the opposite side of the map. Jamie and Tipsy now left in a 2v2. They are certainly healthier than the remaining members of Vortex Gaming, as one of them now plays on this white stairs. The Warden pushes down, manages to land the headshots onto the likes of Tipsy Rain, and it's now a 2v1. Jamie is left in a situation. He does have the right gun for it, and the right operator being on that Ying, cause a flash in the right place, but he is against a Warden. Fizzle, of course, can use his ability to completely make it so that he can't be seen. A thrown Candela means that Maz can swing the angle and claim the head of Jamie. Goodness me, what are they doing? Very true, Callum. At least there are two rather than none. I think just with it being a Sunday night, I think most people have better things to be doing at this point, and maybe the VSL isn't the best league to be streaming for with regards to viewership. I certainly don't think there's quite as many people that are interested in either of these two teams. I'm not too sure, to be honest, but normally we'd see maybe a little bit more when it comes to, just people tuning in. So, I don't know. Like I say, haven't really streamed at this time of night on a Sunday, but it's quite an exciting game, so I'm surprised that nobody's come. I know I'm a little bit tired, maybe a little bit not quite as bouncy as I normally am, but this is an interesting game to be watching. The fact that Cafe is going possibly to match point, if one round goes now in favour of Vortex Gaming, we will see overtime between these two teams in a 5v4, and Vortex starts on the defensive, I believe. Let me double check that. Vortex indeed do start on the defense on the overtime. If they can continue this run of luck on the defense, then they should hopefully, they might even be able to actually clutch out the win on this one, despite it being a 4v5. That would be something to see. I certainly hope for their sake that they do, but currently at the moment it does look like Fizzle has maybe just completely given up, as he's currently just sat looking at the back of this toilet. Maybe he himself needs the loo a little bit.
5 seconds remaining.
Seems like Oshin is maybe not too impressed with his friend's behaviour, as he almost goes to one-tap in there, but decides slightly better of it. Hiding as Frost, lol. Yes, maybe that was the play, but there is a lot of reinforcements to be set up on their side, and not many of them have actually been done. Not sure whether the Amara has been bought. No, she hasn't. That was just Oshin going for a maybe bit of a small peek, but deciding better of it. Pre-fire's coming out onto the window, not quite able to get anybody as of yet, as we now see the members of Atlas going onto the roof. Atlas, of course, have maybe been put in a slightly worse position than they were maybe expecting to be in, knowing that they are only one round away from... they've been one round away from winning this entire best of two for like the past 3 or 4 rounds in a 5v4. Somehow, though, they haven't quite been able to win this so far. One, though, drops the red hatch, and Prones on the floor does manage to collect the aggressive Malusi of Game On, who was playing underneath that electrical hatch. Now in a 5v3, Atlas certainly, if they continue this lead that they have, will get the win on this one, but we have seen them throw it away several times so far. With Oshin, Maz and Fizzle still on the board, I think magic can still happen between these two teams, and we may still see Vortex win this one out yet. Fizzle playing aggressively in the freezer, currently sat on a shield watching onto the cocktail shop door. Wall being opening up behind him, though, does mean pre-fires come through onto all the angles. So many bullets in that gun of Frost does mean that he tries to pre-fire everything as he swings across the angle. He doesn't quite see the head of Book, though, as he's proning around on the floor. The pre-fire does come out and eventually misses. But now there's other members in. Rowdy, though, gets head of Fizzle. A Shink refrag, so does Maz. But Maz is now down on the floor, and it's now a 3v1. All down to Oshin. Now makes it by collecting the kill onto Tipsy Ryan. A 2v1. Can Oshin come up big now for his team in this match point position? Can he put us into overtime right here, right now? Bino pushes in and starts putting the plant down, being covered by his friend Cake. Shots coming out from Oshin, haven't quite managed to hit anything. The flashes do blind Oshin slightly. One now playing on the E-hatch, though. Pre-fire coming out on his head, doesn't quite manage to get it as he now runs back. Bino managing to keep most of his life. Cake now holds a cheeky angle all the way from Freezer. He now pushes onto the Freezer, rotates that he himself put in. The pre-fire does come out, does a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to take him out of the game. 20 seconds left. Oshin might still be able to do something here, but it's looking, with all the seconds ticking away, it's looking less and less like he will be able to. And with Cake watching the angle, then he's now going for the defuse. Cake swings around, so does Bino. Bino loses that gunfight. Can Oshin get that? Unfortunately, he doesn't have the time for it now. Cake just swing around and get the kill, which indeed he does with a bit of a hip fire. And after a very long slog, Atlas finally managed to win this one. 7 rounds to 5. Vortex puts up an admirable fight despite the fact that they were in a 4v5 for a lot of the second half of this one after the rehost. As I say, they put up an incredibly admirable fight towards the very end, but eventually, of course, Atlas do manage to find their way through and secure themselves the victory on this one. First map we saw today was Oregon, went in favour of Atlas. I believe that score was 7-3, and the second map also goes in favour of them, 7-5. Slightly closer than we might have expected, just due to the fact that well, it was a 5v4 for most of the rounds that Vortex were able to win, but eventually Atlas were able to knuckle down and push through and just use that 5-man versus 5 advantage against Vortex, eventually able to win this one out and secure themselves the full points from this best of 2. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this evening. I know there's only a few of you watching at this point. Thank you for coming in and watching me cast today. Just to let you all know, I'm going to be having not necessarily a full break from casting over this next week. Atlas win, there we go. But yes, so over this week I'm not going to be doing quite as many streams. So we'll just have to... so if you guys are wanting to tune in, I may just be doing some rank streams rather than some casting. Of course, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do want to come over and watch me do that. But for now, I'm very tired, so I'm just going to dip on this one. Thank you all for tuning in today. It's greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please consider dropping me a follow, and as it helps the channel out endlessly. Thank you very much for your time today. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good end to your weekend, everybody. Goodbye for now.